Today is October 12th, 2024, and I just want to share a few things in my process of healing. Every single day I learn new things, and that should be something that everyone is experiencing. You have to be open to it. You have to be open to mistakes you're made, and you have to understand that it's not entirely your fault if you judged things the wrong way, for instance. I find myself all the time questioning everything pretty much. And it's not something that just started happening. No, I've always questioned things. But at the same time, I had to follow the rules. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to. I mean, the rules imposed on me growing up. And it's not that they were coming from a place of hate and control or anything like that. Parents naturally love their children and they want the best for their children, right? But at the same time, they were raised by their parents and so on. And there's this process of degradation that's happening in my existence. I'm seeing degrading more and more, and it's the fact that we are taught to be very, very superficial and dismiss things as soon as we thought or we think we found the answers. And that's a very narrow-minded of dealing with reality. Not necessarily our reality, one that is imposed on us, obviously, because you find yourself all the time forced to do things that you don't want to do, you have to, or you're being pushed to do. And to me, that is like, okay, manipulation. And it's not that this manipulation happens, no, it happens ever since you take your first breath. And I already spoke about that, I don't want to dwell on it anymore, at least for the time being. But what prompted me to do this video today is in my process of taking care of my mental health, meaning my, not that I'm mentally retarded, mind you, even though that's what people think, because I speak too slow or whatever. I don't even care. It's just the fact that I needed to see if my logic is on par. And I've been playing these games on. I'm gonna post the link in the description box. Hopefully, I won't forget. If I do, please remind me or just search for it. It's called Wordle, and also I do the Quordle and the Octordle. They're very good exercises to. For me, it's good from more than one point of view. It's teaching me words. I mean, not all the time, obviously. I know a lot of words, but now and then I do learn some words that I don't use. I mean, I wouldn't usually use. But it's a way of testing your mental acuity, as well as other games. I mean, when you're pretty much treated like you're mentally retarded, or there's really something off with you, you do need some tools to, I don't know, pump up your morale and see, man, I'm not that stupid, am I? Yeah, and the fact that I'm dealing with memory, short-term memory problems and focus problems is just the result of a lot of freaking trauma I didn't even know I was going through. And I'm pretty sure we all can relate to that if we stop judging and if we stop, uh, looking at, there's something that really bothers me lately, which I'm gonna share regardless. There's this talk about being one, and I understand that. It's just that the twist that people put on being one and this and that, they want to show that they are that one, and there's a lot of hypocrisy. For me, being one means to be happy for every positive success, every advancement that is actually an advancement and not a so-called improvement which makes your life miserable. This is what I've noticed. Every time something improves, oh my goodness, what do you know? Things start falling apart. So to me, that's not an improvement. They just use a term, we're gonna improve some things for your betterment, for your comfort, and for your this. And unfortunately, yes, we like the comfort. We like to rely on, okay, I got this problem. You know what? You take it, solve it for me. No, it doesn't work that way, because this is how you give control. This is how you become complacent and superficial. And you don't want to be superficial. Look what's going on. We are more and more superficial, and look what's going on. It's enough to look at the cartoons for kids. I recall watching the Aristocats. Oh, that was so beautiful. I know it's Disney, but Disney was beautiful before. I don't know, something happened to it. It got really twisted. Like everything else, if you think about it. Look at architecture. Like everything is degrading, and is degrading fast. Meanwhile, you're being told that you just need to adapt, put up with it, blah blah blah, that type of crap. Probably not thinking of all the aspects of it, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is, you're pushed in being extremely superficial, and that is a problem. Now, I don't know how long I spoke about this. My goodness, 7 minutes. Ooh. Anyway, sorry. I might do some cuts, I don't know. But I was talking about the fact that I needed some reinforcement that I am not debile, mentally disturbed, like I'm being painted as by the society, because this is how I feel, people take a step back when you're being very, honest, and you just tell them what you think. That scares the shit out of people. And it shouldn't, really. And I think everybody should do that. It would save a lot of time. Well, that is only for those who have good intentions. If you have bad intentions, of course, you won't be... you won't be doing that, would you? So, I play religiously, almost. I would say religiously, actually, because it's true. Let me check. My Wordle, for instance. I've been playing Wordle for 294 days. Current streak, or yeah, I think it's streak, you pronounce it, is 68. My maximum streak was 81. So that gives me a lot of confidence, and sometimes, quite frankly, I mistake because I don't pay attention. I'm being superficial. So every time you are being superficial, you tend to make mistakes. But as it is, I'm very proud with that. And today's words on the Quordle were very interesting. On the chill version of it, it says spoil, kilt, teach, magic. I was thinking, I don't know, all the time I'm looking for messages. They come from the universe, they come from AI, they come from, I don't know, it's synchronicity or well planned synchronicity, whatever it is. I was thinking, you're not spoiling anything if, for instance, I have an obsession. One of my obsessions, I have to say, is crocheting, basically creating things with my hands. You know, I just love that. I feel like I'm thriving inside. I am feeling very in touch with myself when I create things because I pour in everything that I do love. And that's what I try to do with my job. I poured love into my job. And oh, this reminds me of something that happened, I don't know, probably a decade and a half ago. I had this manager, the typical corporate manager who thinks that climbing the corporate ladder is by being retarded, following first and foremost the rule of not bothering anybody. So anyway, this guy, you know, I was working for quite a while already by comparison with him, and anyway, he managed to become a manager. And it's very easy to see why some people get there. Yeah, you know, the type of yes people. Yes to the wrong things, right? Anyway, we had a lot of systems at work to log into, and for each login you would have different IDs. And I had one that it was easy to remember because it was based on my bank card, you know. And let's say I would forget, I could just pull my bank card out and I would see what it is, because it does happen when you are jet lagged, you're stressed, you're tired, you're panicky, you have 200 calls waiting in queue or stuff like that. You tend to panic, right? You need to perform. Anywho, that's besides the point. What I wanted to say is there was a mix-up with my ID on a platform that had some improvements done to it. And all of a sudden, they changed my ID to someone else's. So, of course, I went to my manager and I said to him, there's something wrong with my ID, it's no longer working. And he came back to me with a new number and he said, but that's because you need to use this one. And I'm like, what? I said, yes, you need to use this one. Okay, I said, fine. Alright, another number to remember. Exercise my memory. Anyway, and then, about after a week or so, he comes back to me and he goes, you know, we're gonna change your ID, meaning my banking card, on the other systems. Actually, there were 2 other systems, I believe. I can't remember. It doesn't really matter. The point is, he was fixing an error by making it bigger. And I'm like, is there an actual reason for that? Well, because this is what it is. I said, no, it's not. And I showed him my banking card. It is based on this employee ID. And he was like dumbfounded. These people are not used to being challenged. They have this pattern they're being taught. Okay, when somebody says this, I mean, that's what's happening in my mind. They're being trained in these managerial camp sessions. You just stand your ground. They will back off. And you use this. Oh, you bring me a problem, you need to bring the solution. It's like, why would I bring you a solution? You are the manager. If there is a problem that I can fix, I will. But if it is something that requires a manager, I am sorry to put you on the spot. Okay? Anywho, that's my type of person. I will challenge you. It doesn't make sense. I have to challenge you. I don't know how I do it, but I'm going to challenge you in the most diplomatic and gracious, elegant way that I can. He was looking at me like, what's wrong with this woman? She doesn't know her place. And I said to him very nonchalantly, you know, and I said his name, which I won't say here. You can't fix an error with a bigger error. And to my surprise, that sort of sank in because they fixed the actual issue. And I think this is what we are facing nowadays more and more. I mean, yes, this happened over a decade and a half ago, but it's about how people fail to see what's logical, what's fair, what's just. Maybe it doesn't make any sense. For to him, it was like, what does it matter? Just use that. Well, it does matter because it impacts me in a way. And I'm afraid that my employee ID is being somehow hijacked. Or something. I don't know. Maybe it was paranoia. Maybe not. Maybe it was more the logic of it. Who he refused to acknowledge until I stated it very green to his face. I'm sorry, I didn't want to get so amped up, but if you work in a corporate world, you know what I'm talking about. These people are blindfolded and they're leading you. And you're supposed to trust them. Yes. Anyway, another thing that I'm doing today, I'm trying to change things all the time because I find that, the depression creeps in based on what's happening, all around us. Yes, that's all you can take away if you venture into reality presented on the little box. What I'm doing now, I'm trying to listen to music that uplifts me as soon as I wake up. I mean, I like to check what YouTube videos are of interest to me. I just read the titles, and some of them I just dismiss from the get-go. It doesn't matter. The point is, I was reminded this morning about this album I absolutely adore. It's called A Momentary Lapse of Reason by Pink Floyd. A very underrated album, in my opinion. Someone was commenting that it's not legit Pink Floyd, but it is a good album. And I'm like thinking, what do you mean it's not legit? This is Pink Floyd. They are authentic in everything they do. They've got different facets Like, think about Depeche Mode or Duran Duran, how they started. Like, think of Angry Like a Wolf, and check their other creations after. Like, there's a change, and it's only normal. Everything evolves. It's not legit. Okay, maybe it's not legit in your eyes, but that was part of the process, of evolution. And to me, this is a masterpiece. But people have to be judgmental. This reminds me of a poem which I need to search. How somebody is offering, what do you call it? Laurels for someone else's work, but they manage to slip themselves under the crown just by making that comment and then running with the crown type of thing. Anyway, I love this album from the first note to the last. And there are in there some saxophone solos that absolutely rip into my heart, because I recall when I was listening to this and I asked my dad about it. He was a professional saxophone player, and I said, "Dad, what is this? Can you play this?" He said, "Of course I can play this, and it's just like a riff." He called it a riff. And I'm like, only for this part I would love to learn to play the saxophone. So it is about being inspired. It's not about wasting time. When you do something, you put yourself all in it. With love. Without judgment. Without the goal of, popularity. I don't like being popular. I've been popular all my life. I don't know why. Even though I try to hide, I still somehow... I was popular, unfortunately. And I didn't like that. But at the same time, you look at who's popular nowadays. I know I sound arrogant, and I don't care. I am over other people's perceptions of me. They are so flawed that to me is like, I'm really sorry. Like, why would you do that? If everybody was to look into themselves instead of finding problems in others, I think the progress would be immense. And there's also this thing, everybody's like, oh no, I'm not judging, I'm describing, or I'm just stating the facts. You can state the facts, but try not to put a spin at the same time. Let people decide for themselves. If someone is that superficial, they cannot use their own instinct, their own moral compass, whatever is left of it. You will not be able to trigger that in them, no matter what type of statements you make. I mean, I've been not experiencing, I should say. Well, yeah, it's both, because I've been experienced on two, so I've been experiencing others' experiment on me unknowingly. And we all do. It's just that we are too busy to notice. We are too distracted to notice. Alright, so back to this song, because this is getting long. Oh my, 24 minutes. Anyone clicked off, that's fine with me. It's more for me, I guess. I go back to these recordings and I see flaws in what I'm saying. I mean, I hear flaws in what I'm saying. I hear tones in my voice I dislike, and I want to change that. I want to be as impartial as I can be, removing the frustration of not being understood. Or, despite all my efforts, I fail to understand others. But that's another thing. You can only control what you're doing, right? You control what's within your power to control. So back to a momentary lapse of reason. I suggest you listen to it. I don't know if suggest is the best word, but that's what came to my mind. Sometimes you need patience. You need to be in the right state of mind. Meaning, you need to be balanced, not irritated like we are accustomed to be as soon as the alarm clock sounds. I don't need an alarm clock, I just wake up. And then I decide that I will make the best of my day, no matter what. Back to the song now, the album. I recommend listening to this album. That's the word I wanted to use, not suggest. Suggest sort of sounds patronizing. One of the songs that absolutely touches my heart and touched my heart ever since I listened to it decades ago, I would say, it's On the Turning Away, because it is so current and it's more and more happening to us, and we're not noticing because we're too busy being stressed and freaking out, just because we're being pointed to that direction and that direction and that direction and confuse us. I'm going to read the lyrics and then I'm going to sing the song. So you can disconnect now, you can disconnect later, or if you are already disconnected, God bless you. On the turning away from the pale and downtrodden, and the words they say which we won't understand. Don't accept that what's happening is just a case of others suffering, or you'll find that you're joining in the turning away. It's a sin that somehow light is changing to shadow and casting its shroud over all we have known, unaware how the ranks have grown, driven on by a heart of stone. We could find that we're all alone in the dream of the proud, on the wings of the night, as the daytime is steering, where the speechless unite in a silent accord. Using words you will find are strange, mesmerized as they light the flame. Feel the new wind of change on the wings of the night. No more turning away from the weak and the weary, no more turning away from the coldness inside. Just a world that we all must share. It's not enough just to stand and stare. Is it only a dream that there'll be no more turning away? I can't describe how this gives me goosebumps all the time. There's so much truth in there. If you still have a spark inside of you, it will flicker. Now I'm gonna sing it. My apologies if I butcher it in advance. But this is my favorite song from Pink Floyd. I have more, but this is the one that really describes what's going on in the world for a very long time. And the effect of it is it's biting us by the buttocks. On the turning away from the pale and downtrodden, and the words they say which we won't understand. Don't accept that what's happening is just a case of others suffering, or you'll find that you're joining in the turning away. It's a sin that somehow light is changing to shadow and casting its shroud over all we have known. Unaware how the ranks have grown, driven on by a heart of stone, we would find that we're all alone in the dream of the proud. On the wings of the night, as the daytime is steering, where the speechless unite in a silent accord, using words you will find are strange, mesmerized as they light the flame. Feel the new wind of change on the wings of the night. No more turning away from the weak and the weary. No more turning away from the coldness inside. Just a world that we all must share. It's not enough just to stand and stare. Is it only a dream that there'll be no more turning away? I love you all. Take care.